Hello, my name is Crystal Bishop. I am a STEM Education Coordinator and an AEL Coordinator with the West Virginia State University NASA SEMA program. And today we are going to be making a glider with some modifications in tandem with our Principles of Aeronautics activity. Before you, I have the items that we will need to complete this activity. I have the instructions. I have a pen, a ruler, a pair of scissors, I have some Scotch tape, and I have the glider. We purchase these at Oriental Trading. There's 48 gliders in a box. And also I have contact paper, which you could use that, or you could use some packing tape. That's really up to you regarding the supplies that you may have. The first thing that we're going to do with the glider is that we're going to take it out of the package and we are going to cover it in the contact paper, the body, the wing, and then the back wing. And once we do that, we are going to follow the directions and we are going to cut out the flap area. In this case, on the wing is the ailerons. And then on the back wing we have the elevators, and then on the body we have the rudder. So we are going to put the contact paper on it so when we start cutting and scoring lines to make the flaps move, it won't break the foam off of the body. So first things first, we're going to open up our glider package. What I always suggest is if you can't just peel the top up, always knock everything to the bottom. That way if you have to take a pair of scissors and open it up, you're not going to cut through the foam. You'll see here we have several pieces, and in each packet we should have the main wing, the tail wing, the body or fuselage, and then we're going to have a cone. This will give weight to the front so it will fly in a truistic manner. Now the first thing we need to do after looking at our inventory in the glider package, you will see that there is a little piece of foam that can be removed. It's been perforated for easy removal. This we'll just put to the side. This will allow the wing to be inserted. Then when we're looking at this, if we look towards the back of the glider, there's another one. So we will remove it because that is where the tail wing will be placed. So now that we've removed those two perforated pieces, we can put these items to the side and move our instructions. And now with regards to our contact paper, the easiest way I have found to do this is to set your pieces on here in either this fashion or this fashion, but I suggest up and down depending on the size of your paper, and just look at aligning these to where they have enough room around them so when you flip the contact paper up and fold it over, there'll be enough room. So if we look, this is our center line. So this is where we're going to most likely fold it in order to make that happen. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and fold the paper over nearest to its center line. Now, why don't you go ahead and open up your packages and remove the perforated pieces and then fold your contact sheet in half. Now that you've done that, we need to peel half the contact paper up. And sometimes it can be a little difficult. You just have to work with it. I've also found that if you don't have the nails needed, you can just make a little tear in the paper on the back side. And get it to come up. Now that I have done that, and I've got half of the contact paper down, I'm going to begin placement of my items. So I've put the body on, and again, you want to give it enough room to where you're going to have an opportunity to fold this over, and the contact paper will make contact on both sides. So you can go ahead and do that for yourselves. Now that you've done that, you can remove the remainder of the paper, and you're going to flip it the opposite way that you folded it, assuring contact on each piece. So what I normally do is I take the blunt edge of the scissors and I go around to make sure that this has contact all the way around and I'm flushing the air out of it. You can use your fingers as well. When you're assured that you've got all the air flushed out around it, then you can take your scissors and cut the pieces out. Also, it probably wouldn't hurt to do the back side just to make sure. Now what I usually do is just cut the pieces out of the contact paper and then I go around them in a closer manner. So feel free to go ahead and start cutting around. Once you have that, you can remove the excess and throw those away. Now, the next thing I do is where I put the contact paper over the two perforated areas on the body, I just take my scissors and I open them up and I cut into the contact paper on both sides on a safe surface. And then I test to make sure that I don't need to trim any further. I know I don't need to trim that any further. It's got a good tight fit. And then I try my tail wing. And it's got a good fit. It's tight, but it's not so tight I have to force it in. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the flaps in. And we need to measure, mark, and then cut. The first piece that we're going to cut and score will be the rudder. And so, according to our instructions, the rudder needs to be measured 2 centimeters in height and 1 centimeter in width. Now, the centimeter on the ruler is this mark right here where it says CM and then 1. And of course 2 centimeters is where the 2 mark is. So we can put our ruler from the top of the glider and we can mark our 2 centimeter length. Now some of the gliders already have the rudder measured. Some do not, because there's 3 or 4 different kinds that come in the box. So we're going to measure 2 centimeters over and 2 centimeters down and 1 centimeter over. Now that we have that marked, we can take the scissors and just cut the 1 centimeter mark. And then we want to score the 2 centimeter line. So we take the back of our scissors and we just press down because we just want to score it. Then we want to lift it up to get it to move. We flip it to the other side. We score the other side. And we should have movement. And you may even want to take your thumb and press it down so it'll move rather freely. See? Now, once we've done that, we are finished with this particular piece for now. So go ahead and mark your 1 centimeter line and then mark your 2 centimeter line, score it, cut, and then loosen that up, that flap up a little bit. The second piece we're going to do is the elevators. The elevators are on the small wing. And notice if you look at this picture, it's different than the glider tail wing that we have right here. So what we're going to do, according to its directions, is we're going to measure 2 centimeters over from the corner. And we're going to put a line. And then we're going to do the same on the opposite side. And we want to measure 1 centimeter up. Now, and we want to measure 1 centimeter up right here. Now we want to connect those lines so we know exactly where we're scoring and cutting. Now we want to do the same on the opposite side. We want to measure 1 centimeter up. And 1 centimeter across. And we want to connect those lines. Now, once we've done that, we're going to take the back of our scissors, or we could use the pen just pressing down real firmly. Score the 2 centimeter line, and we want to just cut the 1 centimeter line. Once we do that, we want to bend it up, turn it over, bend it, and if it's not scored properly on the back side, go ahead and score it. And it should be able to move up and down. You should be able to move both elevators down and both up. Now we're going to put it to the side. Now comes our last piece. If you'll notice, this too is different than what is on our instruction sheet. So with the wing, we want to follow the instructions on under ailerons. We want to have this cut 4 centimeters in width, and we want 1.5 centimeters, 1.5 centimeters in length. So we're going to cut from, measure and cut from the side. So the first thing we need to measure is 4 centimeters over and put our mark on both sides. And now we know it needs to be 1.5, and 1.5 is halfway between the 1 and the 2. So measuring 1.5 between the 1 and the 2, we're going to put our line. And then we're going to do the same on the opposite side. .5. Now the other thing we're going to do is measure 1.5 on this side, and then 1.5 on this side. And we want to connect those lines. And I'm going to score this a little bit better with my pen by pressing down. So again, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to press down to score it on both sides. And then I'm going to just cut that 1.5 centimeter length line. And I'm going to bend my flap up on each side, and then I'm going to score it again on the back side, and I can use my fingers to make sure that they flip up and they flip down. Now once I've done that, I want to construct my glider by putting the wing back in, putting the tail wing back in. And if you're concerned yours is a little loose or something of that nature, you can take the Scotch tape and you can tape it into place, because sometimes the perforated holes are not, they're a little bit bigger than what needs to be. So you can just put the tape in between the joint of the wing to the body to stabilize it. And you can do that top and bottom and on each one wherever you would need it. The last thing we need to do is just fit the cone. Sometimes the cones fit very tightly and other times not. So again, I just grab the tape if for some reason it's not as tight as I would like it, and I just wrap the tape around the cone to make assurance that the cone doesn't fly off in flight. So there we have it. We have the glider with the ailerons moving up and down, the rudder moving right and left, and the elevators moving up and down. And now we're ready to continue to principles of control in the principles of aeronautics activity. Thank you.